And there we go. Guys, how are you? Nice to be back. I am, you know what, I forgot to finish my coffee. I bought a Dunkin' Donuts coffee on the way up here, and I'm gonna drink it right now. I'm gonna finish it. So Sunday morning about 11 o'clock on April 7th. So I was actually really worried because I didn't think there's a road that goes up here. It's like a really bumpy road. They've actually paved over it. I mean, it's still bumpy, but they fixed all the potholes, but the bumps are still there. So, but I thought it was going to be covered in snow, as you can see, but a lot of it must have melted yesterday, because we've hardly got any snow this winter, and we just got it the other day. So I decided to hold on. Nothing like a nice warm coffee. I decided to start doing videos again. I have my bear spray, and I have my 9mm. You know, what's the point in having a handgun if you're not going to use it? I mean, if you're not going to, you know, utilize it as in the sense of, you know, taking it with you if there's, you know, any chance of any danger. You know, this is the type of place you would bring it, right? Not that I ever want to have to use it ever, but so I just want to fix this. So this is called Leominster State Forest. If you look at it up on the map, you know, on Google Maps, it's the Granite Street entrance, right? So this is the very end of Granite Street. Now all the melted snow is creating a river here, so it's not great conditions. But this is, and I've talked about this before, this is one of the very few encounters in Worcester County was up here. I think it was 2010. And I actually, Ronnie LeBlanc talks a lot about this place because he grew up close to here. And he had his first encounter around here somewhere. And that kind of, I think that inspired him. He was in the newspaper and stuff. So I was at a Comic-Con type thing a couple of years ago with my son. All he wanted to do was look at Star Wars stuff, you know? And we were going past all the stalls, and it was like, Expedition Bigfoot. Oh, Ronnie LeBlanc. He doesn't know me from Adam, like, but I know him, you know? I'm like, how's it going? Now, my son's like tugging on my coat, wants to go, doesn't want to stop, wants to get to the Star Wars stalls. So I couldn't get talking to him, but I said, listen, I've been up to that Leominster State Forest place a couple of times, and you know, checking it out. I'm like, where did that encounter happen? And he told me, but I didn't get all the details because my son was tugging on me, you know, and he was really annoying me. He was distracting the hell out of me. But from what I gathered, it's around here. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter exactly where it is. It's not like, oh man, this water is pretty bad. It's like running down here like a river. I think it was warm yesterday. So this is a kind of a messy hike. You know, I've been thinking about this for the last couple of weeks, you know, and you know, oh, the weather's getting better. I'm gonna start doing hiking videos again, and then it snows. And my son was supposed to be at a sleepover, but he's not. That didn't work out. So you can see where these people have walked. See that? To get off the path, because it's, oh boy, it's so damn wet. It's annoying as hell. It's really annoying. And my feet are getting soaked. But if I walk in the snow, I'm going to slip. I don't know where. I guess there's a little valley here, if you can see it, and the water's just, you know, forming at the bottom and then making a little river. So yeah, what have I been doing the last couple of years? Well, it's been one thing after another. It's been a very challenging couple of years, you know. But everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Everybody's alive, but it's been a very tough, emotional year, you know. And it comes with having kids, I guess. You know, that there's always going to be challenges with kids, but we had extra, you know. We had as tough as it can get with kids challenges, you know. And then financially it's been tough too, because this van that I got, right, it's 40,250, right? But everything that could go wrong with the van has went wrong. You know, the dreaded transmission went. Just before Christmas, you know, and work really slowed down, right? So just before Christmas, I knew there was something wrong with the van, you know. It was just, it was losing power, right, on the highway or going up a hill, and it was making weird noises. So I'm like, it's okay, it's just spark plugs, or maybe a fuel pump, or maybe the carburetor clogged or something. I was hoping for the best, and it was the absolute worst thing that could happen. Now what I brought it into the garage, right? And what they said was, oh yeah, so it came to a head one day and it was losing power like really bad, and it was like stuttering, you know, and I'd put the foot to the floor, nothing, and then it would just lurch forward, you know, and then I couldn't reverse it. So I brought it to the garage and they said, oh, it's your rear end is messed up. I'm like, okay, that's good, I guess, you know. It was $1,700, you know, and I'm like, God damn it, right before Christmas, but I gotta do it, you know. And just checking this. So that was $1,700. So then they fix that, and then they're like asking me questions, like, you know, about the transmission and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what you mean. And it says, you need a new transmission. I'm like, I thought it was the rear end. And they said, well, it was the rear end too, but the transmission's gone. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm like, just thinking in my head, like, these guys are going through the process of elimination at my expense, right? It wasn't the rear end. You know, it was the transmission all along, but they thought it was the rear end, put a new rear end in, and the problem was still there. And they didn't speak very good English. I'm like, what? So what was wrong with the rear end? And he was like, oh, it was making funny noises, and it wouldn't, I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was just like, I had a feeling that they messed up. It wasn't the rear end, and it was actually the transmission. So the transmission cost $3,700. This is just before Christmas, right? So that's $1,700, then $3,700 right on top of it in the same week. And then I get it back, and I had a problem with the truck. All these lights were coming on and beeping sounds, you know. It was like there's a wire loose somewhere. It's not major, it doesn't affect the performance of the car, but I had played around with the wires underneath the steering column and it went away. So it was obviously a loose wire, you know. I get it back and it's doing that again, like crazy. So I go down and I play with all the wires and stuff, and it's still making that sound. And I'm like, I tried to explain to them when I went back, and he's like, I don't know what happened, you know, just shirking all responsibility. So then I get a leak. It's leaking trans fluid like crazy. So I'm still within warranty. This thing only has a 30-day warranty for the transmission. Now all this time, this all takes about 2 weeks, so I can't work. I'm borrowing my wife's car when I can. But for almost 2 weeks I was sitting at home. I couldn't get to work. The guy I work with, he was in Florida. So I'm losing money left, right and center, and spending money left, right and center. And then So they fix the leak, and I'm within warranty. They fix the leak, but they bring it back to me and it's still leaking, you know? I'm like, the hell with this, you know? It was just a small leak. It was leaking up from the gasket around the bottom of the transmission. So a couple of weeks goes by, I'm out of the warranty at this point, and I'm driving home from, my son likes to go ski, and it's a really challenging drive. You know, you're going up a hill. It's like Mount Wachusett. It's like one of the tallest mountains in Massachusetts. It's not very big, but I'm driving uphill, and all of a sudden the power just goes. Not the power as in the electrics, but the something sounds like it has come loose, and I'm hitting the gas, and it's just whirring as like this, and it sounds like it's just metal on metal, you know, no power. Something's come loose in the transmission, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. You know, I'm at my wit's end. So I bring it back to these guys, and they're like, it's the flywheel. The flywheel has come off the torque converter. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, you've got to help me out here. This van has cost me a lot of money. This guy's from Libya, you know. And the reason why I don't mention any of that usually is because I don't want people to think that I'm singling someone out. Because I would actually, you know, usually I overcompensate when it comes to people from other countries, you know. I like to give them business and stuff, you know. If they're in America, they're working hard, and just like me, they're trying to get ahead, you know. So I'm not saying I don't buy American, but I'm just saying, you know, I don't mind giving business to people from other countries, you know, because they're in the same situation as me. But this guy's kind of slippery, you know, and I got a bad feeling about it at the start, and I should have listened to my gut, but I didn't know where else to go. I mean, this garage is like 5 minutes walk from my house, so that's why. I mean, but they just couldn't be honest, you know. I just want someone honest. I don't mind paying all the money. Just do the damn job right, you know. If I'm a plasterer, right, and if I don't do the damn job right, I have to go back and fix it, and I don't charge anybody. Even if it's 3 months later and there's a big crack, I'll go back and fix it. And very often they'll say, yeah, we know it's not your fault. We put too much heat on, or it's settling the, you know. I'm like, no, it's my responsibility. I'll fix it. It doesn't cost you anything. Like my work is guaranteed for years, you know. These guys, after a month, you know, you're on your own. So they said the flywheels come off the torque converter. I'm going to finish this auto talk very soon. So he said, I'm like, how much is it going to cost? He's like, $1,000. I'm like, I can't pay that. I've just spent all my money on getting the transmission done. Well, you know, I'm like, do you have a payment plan? He's like, no, we don't do that here. So I'm like, okay, I don't believe this guy. So I think it's the starter, right? I think the starter is not working. You know, it's spinning. If you ever look at a starter, it's got a little gear that pops out and engages with the flywheel, right? So I thought that little gear that popped out might be just spinning on its own axis and not doing anything, because that's what it sounded like. So I took it to 2 different places. I took it to AutoZone. They said it was fine. Now, getting the starter out in this van is like a real pain. Like, this is days of me running around the place, not wanting to spend another $100,000. So I took it to a garage not too far away from the one that I'm dealing with, and he's like, no, it's not the starter. He checked it and he's like, no, everything's working fine. And he's like, asked me the story, and I told him, and he's like, well, your first mistake was bringing it over there. He's like, they have a really bad reputation, and you know, people go there to this guy all the time with problems after dealing with these guys that I'm dealing with. So I'm like, well, could you take a look at the truck? And he's like, yep. He gave me a estimate on it. Yeah, I think they looked at it. And they said, yes, it is the flywheel. the flywheel is just spinning, and that's what that whirring sound was. So they give me an estimate like $575. Now the guys across the street, the guy from Libya, he was like, oh, we can, you know, we know you've got it hard and stuff, and you know, we'll give you a deal, we can do it for $1,000, you know. Just bullshit. Like, so these guys said they could do it for like $600, so they did it, and it's working so far, so good. But it's been a tough year, you know. Now they've driven up here, cars have driven up here, people obviously take their dogs here. Now, I don't know which way that is. Hold on. 40. You are here. So I'm just going to walk down this way. I've never been down this way before. It's snowy. So yeah, one of the reasons why I wanted to get back into this was I was just consumed with negativity from watching the news. Now when I say watching the news, I'm not talking about watching CNN and Fox, because I follow a lot of independent journalists, you know, that actually show you what's really going on, because these other news agencies are all owned by the same people, you know. I don't trust them. I think they're in the hands of the military-industrial complex and other lobby groups, and I don't trust a word they say. So I go out and find my own information. And that's how I do it. So and it's just grim, you know. It's like the amount of suffering people are going through, it really affects me, you know. So, and I mean, I want to know what's going on in the world, you know. It's, you can't just bury your head in the sand. You know, I have a responsibility to at least be educated on what's going on around me, but you know, sometimes it just gets too much, and I'm one of these people that hyper focuses, you know. And man, I was hyper focusing on that, and it was really bringing me down. So I'm not going to just ignore it, but I'm definitely going to take a step back and do other stuff. You know, growing up in the environment I grew up in, I'm kind of sensitive to stuff like that, civil unrest and stuff, and you know, it kind of brings stuff up from when I was a kid. Man, these footprints are big. I mean, they just look like big boots, but it's weird because I saw a couple of them, and it looks like they have toe prints at the front. See that one? Hold on. That looks like, I mean, it's probably not, but it just looks like that. The front of it just looks like kind of very vague toes, you know. But you know, it's probably not, but it definitely looks like it. Plus they're too close together. Yeah, so this place is definitely a lot quieter than most of the hiking areas around here. And I think it's because it's kind of tucked away, and that road going up, it probably puts a lot of people off. Probably, you know, I would say locals are the only ones that really know this place is here. So it is kind of creepy up here. Very creepy. But I've been talking so much. If anything's going on around me, I've missed it. I've totally missed it. So I'm just going to pay some attention to my surroundings and shut the hell up for a second. I just posted a video on YouTube about my desire to return to making videos, and my son has a little YouTube channel, you know, just does all silly stuff, you know, he's only 10, and he just posted "I love you, Dad" on my account in the comment section. You know, I should really bring my glasses on hikes like this because I can't really see without them. Do you know what was really strange too? I'm watching a lot of Bigfoot Odyssey right now. I think Bigfoot Odyssey was the best Bigfoot channel there was, right? I really do. But I love I don't know how much, yeah, he did it all the whole way through, but Carrie would go down and visit, his wife and stuff would go down and visit people that are having ongoing encounters in their property. And one thing that, I'm not a big tree structure guy, but a few people, and Carrie mentioned this too, was tree structures are probably a way for Bigfoot to observe from a safe distance. You know what I mean? Kind of like a deer blind that hunters build. Not all of them. You know, not everything in the woods is a tree structure. But I'm like, that makes sense actually. Especially if it's near property where people are living on. Up here it wouldn't make any sense. Bigfoot just has to retreat into the wilderness, right? But if you're living on the property, then I can totally see it. And you know, in his videos he does kind of share a lot of tree structures, and some of them are very compelling. Now this stuff here, you see this, I don't know what you call these plants or these trees, bush, whatever it is. I think I do know, but I can't remember what it's called. This is very prevalent up around this area. I am 100% sure I just saw something move at my 12 o'clock. So just pay attention to right ahead of me there. You see that blue marker? I don't know if you can pick that up, but to the right of that blue marker I just saw movement. Yeah, nothing around here. It's pretty open there. There's nothing there. It's just my eyes are playing tricks with me. Let's see how far I've walked so far. I don't want to walk too far, and then my knee starts to kill me. I've walked for 30 minutes. It feels like about a mile. Activity. Yeah, it says half a mile. That's nonsense. It just hasn't updated yet. Oh, Well, that's my foot soaked. Great. It feels like deep winter. Yeah, there's no way I've only walked a mile. There's just no way. Or half a mile even. Activity. Okay, 0.72 miles. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Feels like a lot more though. I've been walking for 30 minutes. I mean, I'm walking like, I don't know how to calculate that. A mile an hour. But I am taking my time because of the terrain. Usually I'm like charging like a buffalo. So I'm probably going to go to this, where this starts to drop off, and then I'm going to walk back. Because this is my first day out in a long time. Actually, fishing season started yesterday around the reservoir where I live. And you know, they stock it and then they open it up, and I drove past there yesterday morning and there was like just tons and tons of cars. So there was no point walking around that place because just so much activity. And they'd be like, what the hell's that guy doing talking to himself? So yeah, it's, I don't know, it's up around here somewhere where that encounter happened. And if I just keep walking, I'm going to get really tired walking in this damn snow. But yeah, what else, guys? What else have I been up to? Playing a lot of video games, I guess. Reading a lot. I've been playing like World of Warcraft and Call of Duty. And I've been reading a lot of Stephen King. Right now I'm reading The Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks. It's kind of like a Lord of the Ringsy type story. You know, it's got elves and dwarves and humans and goblins and ogres and stuff. So, I mean, I love that stuff. What else have I been doing? God, not much. I do try to keep my head on spiritually, you know. I do, like, as I've often said, I believe in that there's a creator. I don't know what that creator looks like, but I don't believe that, you know, it's something that we can comprehend. I think it's way beyond our comprehension. And I think all of the cultures and the stories and the beliefs that we've heard are their way of coming to terms with something that they can't describe in words, you know. So I believe in infinity and eternity. And that's really hard for us to fathom, right? You can't, I used to do this when I was a kid. If you just sit in your bed, lie in your bed, and try to comprehend there never being a beginning and never being an end. And if you also try to contemplate eternity, you know, something that goes on forever, you can't, right? You can't do it. I think that's God, right? You can't. People interpret the creator, and then they're like, this is the truth, and I'm going to bang you over the head with this big stick until you accept that. That drives me nuts. That's what I love about Buddhism. The Buddhists don't convert, right? They don't convert anybody, because what's the point? You know? They believe that you're going to go back to the source when this is all over. And now there are some very religious Buddhists that believe in, you know, literal reincarnation. I don't believe that. I think that we live forever, but just not in the same way as we're programmed to think, you know. I think that we are recycled for eternity. And people say, well, do you have a soul that just goes into another body? No, I think the soul is, there's no edge to the soul. It just goes on forever, right? And you're just seeing it from your localized perspective, like from your ego, right? You've built all these experiences and personality and stuff over, well, since you've been born, and then you look at the world and the universe from that perspective. So I basically think that you're the universe, looking at the universe from your localized perspective, right? But if you take away the personality and the experiences and all of that stuff, you take away all of that, your center, how do I say this? The circumference is everywhere, right? The circumference encompasses everything, and circumference is actually not the right word because it goes on forever, right? Like, people think that they are behind their eyes, looking out into the world, but the way I think about it, that's just the way survival has granted us, what's the word for it? We do that in order to survive. Now, why all that is, I don't know. What the point of it all is, I don't know, and nobody knows, but they can speculate. I think that there's no separation between me and you. We're all the same energy. So when they talk about reincarnation, it's not literal. The life force that you're a part of just lives on. Just your personality and your body dies, you know? And do you have memories of this life? I don't know. But Advaita Vedanta is probably closer to what I believe in Buddhism. I mean, yes, Buddhism, yes. But it can get very religious Buddhism, you know, and even some people can treat Buddha like a god, and that wasn't his intention. Buddha just means the awakened one, right? But people clamor for identity and something to hold on to, like a life raft going through this life, and makes them feel safe. You know, it is a tough life. You lose loved ones and people you know. I mean, it's so funny with social media. I was just saying the other day, it's like you get to see people that you've known since you were a kid, right? And that you would never have spoken to again or even knew about. And you hear they've died, you know? Like somebody I used to hang around with in, like, 5th grade, right? But then I went to secondary school and we never saw each other again. Literally never saw each other again, but they're on my Facebook. Because through friends of friends, they see me and they're like, oh, well, there's Cornell, I wonder how he's doing. Whatever happened, I always wonder what happened to that guy. And, I'm the same. So I friend them and, look through their pictures and see if they're married and if they've got kids. And I'm always like, he was a nice guy, I like that. He used to play goalkeeper when we played soccer, and we used to make fun of him because he wasn't a great keeper, and I feel bad about that, but now everything's cool, we've all got kids and we talk to each other. Then you hear, oh, Mel got cancer, and this is an actual true case. Mel Shanley, he was a lovely fella, and I knew him at secondary school, and I hadn't seen him since the day I left secondary school, 1986. I hadn't seen him. Then a few years ago, he's on my Facebook, but I'm never going to see him again. And he'll comment the odd time on, maybe bring up something that we did, or like a teacher did or something. And, I heard that he had cancer. And I thought it was very strange because he was kind of a biker type, and he had his hair all shaved. I thought maybe he was just losing his hair or something. Then I heard he had cancer, and he had a terrible, terrible end. And it was so unfair. You know, this guy never did anybody any harm as far as I'm concerned. He was just one of those guys that was just, he had a little autistic son too. And I don't think that the parents were together, and I'm like, he was raising the son by himself, something like that. I can't remember, but I remember feeling terrible for the son and stuff. And this is what happens, you know, people die. And it's a tough subject. And you're not going to see your relatives, and this is my opinion, you're not going to see your relatives again ever. But it doesn't matter, because we're all one. You know, that's the way the Eastern religions look at it. Don't cling on to, no, I still do, you know, I don't practice what I preach, but it says, you know, don't cling on to people and ideas and stuff, because everything's constantly changing. The universe doesn't stand still, it's always in motion. And you know, it brings me, when I'm going through a hard time, I'll try to remember all of these things, you know, that the universe has your back, but it doesn't discriminate. You know, it's not going to, you know, prayer and stuff, I guess, I know there's a lot of Christians listening to me, and they probably don't agree with me 100%. But I think prayer, like, I always had a problem with praying for things to happen, you know, and it'll only work if you believe in Jesus Christ, you know, and you walk in the footsteps of Jesus Christ, and people pray and they swear by it. But from my perspective, I think that prayer is mind over matter, you know, and like all different religions have their own form of prayer and they swear by it. Well, I do believe in prayer, but I believe that everybody prays different, and I think that it's all about influencing the universe around you. I think we have control of outcomes, you know. We have what would you call it? We can influence events around us, not like just make something happen, but you know, the path we take and stuff, and the decisions we make have an effect on our future. You know, and that's what karma is. Karma is cause and effect, right? It's not, oh, if I kill this guy, I'm going to go to hell, and or I'm going to get killed in much the same manner. It's just, it's something that will set a chain of events in motion that will bring about negative consequences. Maybe not in this lifetime, but eventually, you know. It's like the old, if a butterfly flaps its wings in Costa Rica, it could cause a hurricane in Alabama. Something like that. I can't remember, but you get the meaning. You know, like small things are like stones dropped into a pond, and the ripples are the cause and effect, you know. Yeah, it's very grim today, you know. Every time I come up here, it's freaking, I mean, like the other day, like when the sun was hitting the windows, and we had our windows open just to air the place out, and it was nice, you know. And the birds were outside singing, and it was really pretty, you know. And then today, nothing. I can't hear a single animal. Nothing. I really wish I could get some kind of result walking around here. I wish I could just get a flash of something. Some kind of confirmation. Because, you know, I've said this 1,000 times, and you guys are probably sick listening to me. But when you surround yourself with a certain subject, right, you become more aware of it. So it's like, if I listen to Sasquatch Chronicles and Bigfoot Odyssey, every day, you'll start to be able to differentiate, you know, like, there's no way this guy's lying, you know? And then you're like, this guy's full of shit, and I don't know about this guy. But all it takes is for one guy to be telling the truth for this whole phenomenon to be real, right? And if you go and watch Bigfoot Odyssey, Carrie's Encounter, if you go to videos, most popular, you know, arrange it in that way, he's in the top 3. I don't know why it's not the top one, because it's the most amazing Bigfoot encounter I've ever heard. But you will hear him tell his encounter, and I mean, it's just unquestionable. You know, this guy is not lying. I would bet I'd bet a lot of money on it. Don't know about my life, but I don't think I'd bet my life in anything, because nothing's certain, right? But I would bet a lot of money that Carrie's telling the truth, right? So I've watched this encounter maybe 7 times. And I always go on about it. I always rattle on about it. And I'm like, if you're a non-believer, sit down for 45 minutes and just watch this and pay attention. And just, you know, see what you come up with in your mind. You know, if you're saying that this guy's lying, why? And what makes you think that he's lying? Oh, because Bigfoot don't exist. Yes, but that's not enough, you know? And I have wrestled and wrestled and wrestled this last couple of years with this whole phenomenon, you know, and certain people put me off it. You know, I walk away, I'm like, this drives me nuts. These people are crazy. Like certain people in the subject, you know, and people come out with crazy claims and it just pisses you off, you know? It's like everything is a tree structure, every bit of pareidolia is Bigfoot, and it really puts you off. These people do nothing but like really make the subject unbearable sometimes, right? So, but when you watch Carrie's Encounter, out of all the encounters, and you watch it to the end, because I never knew this, I've watched it tons of times, and after he tells his encounter, I click off. But then he goes to the guy that owns the property is dead, right? But his son's still there. African-American family, you know? And he talks to him, and he backs up everything Carrie's saying. But the animals going missing, about the wood knocks and all this stuff. And totally 100% believes in Carrie, you know? And then, and I never saw this one before, then he goes and speaks to another hunter that hunted that property. I'm assuming it was after Carrie hunted it, and then like ditched, you know, after he hunted it, had that experience, he like just totally ditched, right? Never went back for 11 years, something like that. So I think this guy was between that experience and this video. This guy, Bo, I think his name is. He confirms everything that Carrie's talking about. He's seen a creature right down in that place where Carrie always got the willies, you know? So, like, and I just say this in my intro video like a couple of days ago, for that to be some kind of conspiracy where they all get together and they're like, hey guys, just say this, okay? And say you saw a Bigfoot down there to confirm the creepy feeling that I got in this part of the woods, you know. They would have to like get together and work all of this out and then appear convincing also, which they are. So what's the other? Either they did that and it's a big conspiracy, or this really happened. I can't think of a third option, right? If you can think of a third option, maybe they were just all amping each other up and just confirming to each other what they saw. I don't think so. So I think that really happened. You know, it was funny, I did a video in not these woods, but other woods. And there was a coyote that ran across, not our path, but like parallel with us. I never saw it, and Elena from Bigfoot Canada pointed it out. Did you see the the coyote? I'm like, no. And she tells me where it is. I'm like, holy shit, I never even saw that. So anyway, I'm listening to Bigfoot Odyssey, and I specifically love the ones from this area, you know, Maine, New Hampshire, Connecticut and stuff. So I pay particular attention to those episodes, and I love them because it inspires me to get out into the woods again, because, you know, these guys are convincing. Man, I can talk, can't I? What time is it? I got a new iPhone 14, I'm so excited. It's almost an hour, 48 minutes. So this video is going to be an hour long. I hope that, you know, you find some entertainment in it or something. I don't know, because all I'm doing is rambling. There's not much to see, you know. I wish I could capture something that you guys would find valuable, you know. You see that thing there? You see that piece of let me just see if you can see it. No, probably not, but there's a bare tree there. You know, there's like bark rubbed off it. That must be a deer or something, because there's no way that this place isn't full of deer. You know, there's never anybody here. It would be a totally safe spot for them. Yeah, so I've been listening to all the Sasquatch Chronicles too, and there is controversy surrounding Sasquatch Chronicles, right? I'm not going to go into it, but I'll focus on the guests there. I mean, there's something going on. There is definitely something going on. And I had said to myself, well, maybe it's some kind of projection, some archetype deep in our ancestral memory that we are projecting. And it's like mental gymnastics or what? Maybe Bigfoot's just real, you know? I have all these like really highfalutin ideas to try to explain this phenomena, and of course I don't know. You know, there's people have been researching this for 30 or 40 years and they still don't know. They still hadn't even seen it. I don't know much about Bigfoot research history, right? That's one of my weak points. If I'm going to read a book, it's going to be about a subject other than Bigfoot, you know, and I would rather the practical experience, getting out there and camping and hiking and all that stuff. I don't really like reading about it, and that might sound strange, but it's not. Now, there's a couple of authors that I'm going to give a shout out to. Dave Wilbanks, who owns the Bigfoot and More channel, he's got a great novel about Bigfoot, and then he's got a non-fiction book about his experiences in the Bigfoot research field. And then there's John Van Deventer. I think I have a problem saying that. And he's got like a trilogy out, and it's oh my god, I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to put a link actually in the description of this video, but I only read the first one, but it's fantastic. I mean, it was like, this guy had never written a book in his life before, and he wrote this book, and it was like Stephen King material. Fantastic, really, really good book. And the guy's just gifted. John Van Deventer, that's how you pronounce it. Oh my god, you know what? I'm gonna pull my phone out and I'm gonna look the name of this. I'm gonna look up the name of this video. Or sorry, book. Okay, I'm right on Amazon. Fantastic. I want you guys to read this. You know, a lot of people that watch my channel know about all this anyway. John Van 1, 2, 3 Van D. Okay. There we go. Relics. All right. Relics by John Van Deventer. And the Dave Wilbanks book. Hold on. Shampe. S-H-A-M-P-E. And he has another fiction book, or non-fiction book. I think it's called Kaimichi Bigfoot. I'm not too sure. I'll have to look it up again. I've got it in my house. I'm in there. When we went down, I went down twice, and the second time, or was it the first time? Yeah, it was the second time. Something was walking around my tent at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I almost crapped myself. And you can see all that in my channel. You can see me talking about my experience, and that was the damnedest experience. I mean, I do not know what that was, but it was on 2 feet, it was heavy, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I know what I heard, you know? And that's the one where I covered my ears. I don't know why. Probably just fear, so it would go away. Oh, look at this, guys. Now, I'm going to go back through the video, right? And I'm going to see if that was there. So it's basically like 5 minutes into the video, because there's the path. I did not see that on the way in. Did you guys see that? Let's just have a look at the start of the video again to see if I captured that, because that's strange. I would have seen that, guys, right? I walked right up here. I totally would have seen that. Well, now here, I'm getting myself all excited again. There's no footprints around it. There's a turkey foot. That's strange, because the only footprints around that are from me, right? I can see them. Now, that would not be here for long. If it was there for a couple of days, you know, somebody would have, like a squirrel would have eaten it or something. Anyway, strange. Let's just look at the start of the video and see if that's there. I think if you rewind back to between 5 and 10 minutes, because here's the gate, and I dicked around for a while in the parking lot for a few minutes and then started walking. So guys, I'm sorry I didn't bring you any amazing evidence today, but I just wanted to get back out again, and I'm inspired to make more videos. And I don't know, I really do miss this. I miss getting out here and talking, and it's kind of like therapy, I guess, because I'm talking the whole time and going over my thoughts. And besides you guys, nobody's really listening to me. Well, maybe the trees. But after I do like a hike like that and I'm talking the whole time, I come out and I feel immediately better, you know? So listen, I'm going to probably start doing interviews again. I want to do stuff with Dave Wilbanks again from Bigfoot and More. We had this little offshoot of both of our channels called Into the Void, and it was really good. We interviewed Carrie and stuff, and it was going really well. And then life happened, and I started to get the shit kicked out of me. You know? And I'm still getting the shit kicked out of me, but this is good for me, you know? I'm not getting the shit kicked out of me so much that I can't do this anymore and that my attention is elsewhere. But, you know, I can do this, and it'll just make things easier for me, you know. Everybody's got shit to deal with, you know. Some people fall into a bucket of shit and come out smelling like roses. I'm not one of those people. You know, I always talk about the luck of the Irish. I'm like, I'll have some of that, please. Because I am not very lucky. So, somebody's here. So guys, I will talk to you guys all later. I'll have this uploaded probably later today. Thanks for watching.